Surprise, sucker!
Only shooting stars break the mold.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Brawl Stars. I'm Amy the Amazonian, and today I'm playing with Sorin, Imperious Bloodlord. This planeswalker comes down at 3 mana and can make your vampires stronger, can make your vampires deal some direct damage by sacrificing them, or allows you to put a vampire from your hand directly into play, meaning that no, these are not 6 mana vampires. These are 3 mana vampires, as long as you have them in hand and Sorin is able to put them into play. This is a great way to accelerate a vampire typal deck, meaning that you can go from your nice 1-drops, your Vampire of the Dire Moon, into some good 2-drops that are maybe part of the typal synergy. And why have a 3-drop when you can skip right into the 5, 6, and even other just good vampires? Sometimes it's worth it to use Sorin to bring out something that costs 3, just so you have Sorin in play for future turns, forcing your opponent to attack into your vampires to try to remove him. And, you know, playing good vampires, because vampires are a cool creature type. So let's take Sorin into the queue and cheat out a vampire or 2. Tamiyo, Collector of Tales. Well, the discard isn't going to do as much from some of these, but we can still try to swing in as they Turbo Fog, doing a little self-milling off of her plus to find usually time warps and things like that, and cause infinite turn loops. The more infinite turns you can take, the, well, more infinite turns you can take, usually with a couple small critters just swinging and deal damage. I have a swamp, very exciting, I know, but turn 2, we got some guys. Ooh, Bobble? Are you gonna take a look at what's in my hand? What if I took a look at what's in their hand? No, I want to have a creature out. It's one of those things where it's like, I want to use this before Tamiyo says, you can't make me discard and sacrifice. This turn, they might just hold up a counter spell. If they're holding up 2 blue, as much as I would love to go Sorin into Haunt of Hightower, I think I know better. And I would go Patrick, Banner, Inquisition of Kozilek. But, hey, look at that! They tapped out, which means that it's time for the Castle Locktwain into Sorin. And bringing out a little buddy here, the Haunt of Hightower. Hey. Now, they should have cracked us already to take a look at one of our hands. But now, since they haven't, it's gonna grow the Haunt. They didn't know this is what's coming into play. They flare, getting 2 basics, 1 into play, 1 into hand, and they are approaching pretty rapidly, like River's Rebuke, Cyclonic Rift type mana. I want to buff this up. Play the Patchwork Banner naming Vampire, since these are my vampires, because this was a vampire deck. And we check out their hand. If it is a Cyclonic Rift, I could hit it with this. Nope, search for Azcanta and a Primeval Titan. Alright. Seems good to me. I'll swing in. They'll discard again, probably dropping a land. The Haunt's getting huge. Kablamo. Yeah, not that scary of a start. Like, all they seem to have here is ramp. But that could quickly turn around for a Simic deck. Primeval Titan gets them 2 more lands. Because Tamiyo's not out, I can still make them discard, though. That's nice. And I believe I have lethal, sacrificing the vampire, dealing the damage to their face, swinging it in the air. Oh, well, now I don't, because they put the Radiant Fountain in. Okay, so now how much do I have? Okay, I could either do 3, 4, 5, 6, or I could use you. Okay, this works. Hive of the Eye Tyrant. It has Menace. I'm going to sacrifice you to bop you. Putting a counter onto the Haunt of Hightower since it's a vampire. Swing in, they die. GG. Nissa Ascended Animist. She's like a crater hoof behemoth in the command zone, coming down and giving a big trampling buff based on the number of forests you have. I have a turn 1, a turn 2. Got some nice stuff. I don't really have big cheatable vampires, but that's fine. I have Knight of Evan Legion. I have Consuming Corruption, which can hit creatures or planeswalkers. Same with the Virtue can hit creatures. I guess some reanimation if I'm desperate for it. I don't think I'll need it. Ooh, Elvish Mystic. They went first, and unfortunately I can't kill it. Ah! Overlord of the Hauntwoods gets them an everywhere token, so they already have 3 forests. Wild. I guess I'll kill the Elvish Mystic just to try to keep them off. I have like 1 piece of enchantment removal, but once this becomes a creature, I'll be able to kill it. Now I have a big vampire to cheat in. Oh, hey, Mossborn Hydra. Because this doubles each time they get a landfall, I may need to take it out ASAP. I'll threaten a trade here. They don't take it. I could use Sorin and throw this at this, getting out Drana next turn. I actually think that's fine. Consuming Corruption, I'd rather save it for Nissa since I don't have any other Planeswalker removal in hand. And they're green, so unless they play something hasty, Sorin should be okay for this turn to then bring out Drana. An old growth troll, when it dies, it attaches itself to a forest. And a forced cultivator, they have no lands in hand, so it gets them a land. Somebody's saying mobile players are getting glitched with planeswalkers on the battlefield. Are you sure? I don't know. I feel like that's just excuses. Multiple people reporting it on Reddit. Was there an update to the game yesterday since it was Tuesday? Weird how they only glitch out when they're losing? Yeah, interesting. Yeah, there's usually updates on Tuesdays. I'm recording this on a Wednesday. The validity of a Planeswalker timeout? Yeah, considering it only seems to happen when we're winning. They have a Planeswalker as their commander, so, like, if this is an issue for them, they should have caught on in the first game and not played their Nissa again. Dude, it's Wednesday, I think. It's Wednesday, my dudes. Come on, Nissa! Come at me, bro. Please. No blocks. Swing in. This will become a creature. R.I.P. Sorin. Are you gonna play Nissa? You can. Nope, up the beans. Goreclaw! Can't quite kill it here, but maybe this turn. Mm-hmm. That'll work. Which one? Gary or the knight? The knight. And the knight will get an additional counter. Here comes Nissa. They have 7 frickin' forests. But I don't think the ult kills me. 21 plus this amount minus 4. I guess it gets me close enough. So like right there, that's exact lethal if I don't block at all. So I will block. Oh, hey, girl. Ah, darn, I don't have enough for you and you doing a sacrifice. Nice. They can replay Nissa, but they would be paying life. I guess they would... If they have a forest, actually, that they play this turn, they can alter it again. Elysian Carried, that is not a land. You're saying, look, they're playing faster when there's no planeswalker. No, not really. They're still playing very slowly. They're making some more everywhere. I go to blocks. I'm trying to decide here how I'd like to block. I will block here and here. It's a matter of I get to keep this alive. So just how do I want to do this? Interest restoration. That's cool. Check this out. Bam. I'm a 6/7. They get 3 forests. They got to do that while they still got big boys. And also, this, they can immediately get another big boy. Because when the troll dies, they can shuffle it onto this forest and then tap and sacrifice the forest to make a 4/4 troll. Time to go to combat. I will be playing Sorin. I want to use this 1 extra mana here. Extra damage, extra fun. And I want to gain some life. A lot of life, actually. There's only 1 non-legendary creature in my graveyard. And his name is a Grey Merchant of Asphodel. Which immediately drains our opponent of 6 life. Yeah? No? Great. Gaming. Jodah the Unifier. He's got Fake Cascade. If you cast a legendary spell, you get another legendary. And the more legendary creatures you have, the bigger all of your creatures get. Jodah buffing all of them based on the number of legendaries. Which is ridiculous. This card is ridiculous. Why are you 5 colors? Why are you like this, Jodah? Hello! Fight me! Hello? Yeehaw? Hello? I swear, today I have had some extremely slow opponents. Okay, there we go, they connected. I don't know if it's because the game updated and there's a bug, as somebody posited, or if it's just people taking their time. I am going to use the Dusk Legion Zealot to try to get a bigger, badder, bester guy. Didn't get one. That's fine. I'll probably go Signet into Cordial Vampire next turn. Human. Human. I had a Jodah deck that was a human stack. It was fun. Oh, hey, Vito. You're fun. Arcane Signet, Cordial Vampire, and an attack for 1 entire damage. That's right. Eat it. Thalia, Guardian of Threbin, going to make my Sorin cost more, but that's fine because I don't need Sorin. All I need is a couple vampires. Thalia being a big first striking legendary, it does cause some trouble for me. Until I blast her. I'm going to play the Sorin. I am going to use his +1 ability to sacrifice the Dusk Legion Zealot and toss it directly at Thalia, putting +1/+1 counters on all of my other vampires, also getting me 3 life, which causes them to lose 3 life. And because now Thalia is dead, we get 2 total counters on each of the vampires, and I swing in. For 12, we dealt enough damage that now Knight of Ebon Legion says, hey, how you doing? I'm a 4/5. Yeah, hey, Ruby. Am I saying cordial weird on purpose? Is that not how you say it? Like you have a cordial greeting? That's how I always said it. All right, let's see. We got Amara. That doesn't matter. I'm going to play this, make a guy, yeet at this, swing in, win the game. GG, Jodah. Imoti with Karuga. So unfortunately, this deck is probably an Imoti combo deck, using the card Monstrous Vortex and cascading into it when they cast their commander. It is the only card that costs less than 4 in their, or less than 5 in their deck. Everything else is bigger and has a power of 5, which means that they can line up to do some Imoti shenanigans. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of... We were just talking about this deck in chat. I'm still going to play out, see what I can do, and see if they just kind of get to 5 mana. There's a bunch of spells with adventures and similar that you can still cast while you are getting to Imoti in this deck. There's also a First Sliver version of this deck. Pretty much if it costs 5 and has Cascade, you can do this combo. You could also do combos with things like Tybalt's Trickery, countering your own commander and getting out whatever spell you want. But this one at least fills up the board. It's a little bit more resilient. I'm going to cheat out that Vein Ripper from my hand. Oop, there it is. Yeah, I'm going to play this game as though my opponent is not playing a cheese deck. We'll see. They might be playing the cheese. Hello? Hello? Can I attack? What are you doing to my Vein Ripper? Oh, okay, so they're bouncing the Knight, because they can't bounce this unless they had a creature out. But this is the kind of thing I'm talking about where, see how this creature has abilities on it, but it costs a different amount. This one has an adventure. So, next turn, Imoti. Bloodlord of Akhlazotz. Swinging in. If I sacrifice you, it would be enough, I think. Okay, so I will sacrifice the Vein Ripper. They will lose 4 and then 6, and I think that's lethal. Bam. You combo, me combo. Winner. Derevi, Imperial Tactician. Knows no mana tax. Because the commander tax doesn't apply when you have an ability that lets you be cheated out from the command zone into play. Derevi also taps things down, untaps things, and is generally quite the menace. It's so hard to kill this because it can so easily be replayed, and because it, ends up untapping things and can come out at instant speed. Instant speed removal hardly slows it down. This is an incredibly frustrating card. I wish it weren't in this format, or if you are going to have it in this format, tax this ability. Be like, oh yeah, I'm not casting it. Yeah, but what else are you doing? If you're wondering why I'm not playing the Winter Moon that turn, it's because I only have one land. Swinging in with Vadmir the Badmir. Waiting to see what they do on this turn. I have no use of playing Sorin this turn since I don't have a vampire I really want to cheat out. I'm pretty sure they're just holding a counterspell. Curse of Silence. Are you cursing my Sorin? Yes, keep playing the non-basics, and then we'll moon them! I'm going to use Withering Torment on the Curse of Silence. I also think playing it on the Utopia Sprawl could be kind of cute. Why can't I just moon people? Why not? I'm going to play Blood Artist. No counter spell, swinging in for 3. And now Winter Moon might just get countered. If it does, it does. That's how it goes. And of course, it's Mana Drain. A big old tempo swing, taking 2 mana from me, countering my spell, and then using all that mana to cast whatever they'd like. Yes, this is a card that's banned as Commander and Dual Commander. Rightfully so. And they board wiped. So, sure. You'll lose 2. And then they play Confounding Conundrum. That will draw them a card. And if I try to play 2 lands in a turn, I'll be in danger. So I could have gone for Sorin cheating out Bloodthirsty Conqueror. I actually think I would rather play Sorin the Mirthless. This gives me a flyer that's able to block Derevi. It gives me some card advantage over time, and it's something that's harder for these colors to remove. Not impossible, just harder. I say that, and then of course, Elspeth Conquers Death. Hey, are you even running birds? Usually Derevi's got some, flying stuff going on. I guess not this time. I will use Sorin. I will minus the Sorin. This is, by the way, I could just cast this. I would rather have more permanence in play, and also have this out before the tax from Elspeth Conquers Death applies. Bloodthirsty Conqueror says, you lose life, I gain life. It's part of a combo with Veto. Veto's also in this deck because it's a vampire. Oh, but they're using a Mysterious Tome! That's not how that's supposed to look. Weird. Alright, I'll swing in with these 2. I was waiting to see if they had a response, because I was considering throwing this at them. So I miss out on a damage, miss out on a life gain, or I guess 2 life gain if I'm putting it on you. And they had nothing to reanimate. They never even used the Derevi, the strongest part of their deck. Sure, beat a mana drain, I'm fine with that. It's Monoblack versus Monoblack. I have a really slow hand here, all 3 drops, though this one's really fun and recurable. I want to make sure I have things on turn 1 and 2, because if this Gix is either playing lots of the same black 1-drops or 2-drops, like a Rat Colony deck or an Apostle deck, or if it's just Monoblack aggro, I need blockers. That's a blocker? Vampire to Dire Moon, love it! Alright, what are you playing? Skull Dweller. Okay, so like a 1/1 with Death Touch for a 1/1 with Death Touch. I'll take that trade. Tell us what Pinkie Pie battle it is. But they've got, I don't even know what sleeve this is. And I've got no sleeves. I got the nasty business. Oh, they're kissing. Or are you missing? They can't draw cards if they don't have attackers. I'll bolt in this land. Oh, hey, they did too. For Sorin. And then Preacher of the Schism. Yes. Nervousness. I didn't actually cheat out anything that good, but it is good in this circumstance. It's very good at blocking Gix, though they may just kill it. This deck is usually supplemented with a lot of just nice little spicy kill spells, like Fell the Profane. They swing at Sorin, which means they won't be drawing a card, but they are taking my Planeswalker out of play. And now I have a Vengeful Blood Witch, or Null Priest, or Markov Baron. None of these are very good for blocking. I think I'll just start with the Vengeful Blood Witch. Boop. If I can cast this for 6 mana, I can use it to reanimate, which would be nice. Soldier's Assimilator makes copies of itself in the graveyard. Oh no, it makes copies of the cards it exiles from the graveyard, right? No, into your library. Oh, I don't know what any of this stuff does. Apparently. I'll play the Null Priest of Oblivion into Markov Baron. Means I won't be blocking this turn, but at least I'll have some slightly bigger dudes for the next turn. They hit me for 7, and they can pay up to 3 life to get some cards. Hope of Girapur can cut me off from casting non-creature things. And they're eating the Blood Witch. Which witch? This witch? They have enough mana to recast Gix. I'm still gonna go for it, though. Ooh, a +1/+1 counter. This is gonna be kind of weird looking. I'm just swinging in. I don't have good blocks. I'm hoping I can get a little more mana. I gained a bunch of life. Life gain, good for Bolus's Citadel. They hit my next castable spell, that's Shuldred. And they are making a copy, I think, of the Edict. No, they're not. They're just exiling it from my graveyard. And drawing up to 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Going down. A lot of life. Ashnod! Hey, that's a good blocker. Vault Scourge, also good. And they're reanimating my Blood Witch! I wish you wouldn't. The attacks coming in. I'll block the Vengeful Blood Wish and Ashnod. Just trying to gain some life back here. It's asking if I want to animate my Hive of the Eye Tyrant as a tapped 3/3 with Menace. No, I don't. I'll lose 2, and they can pay up to 8. Now, should they? Probably not. They don't have that much life to give, but shucks, you know, do what you want. Live your best life. Maybe they have a Meat Hook Massacre in hand. My turn! Hi, this is Sorin. I agree. I'll sacrifice nothing and then die. Good game, Gix. Roxanne, Starfall Savant. Comes out, throws rocks, and uses those rocks for lots and lots of mana. Because she refunds a part of her mana cost and has removal both on cast and on attack. Or I should say on enter and on attack. She's nasty. She's hard to deal with. Best way to take out Roxanne is probably countering her. You can do what you can to try and destroy their ramp until they get to Roxanne. But like once Roxanne's down, the ramp is real. Devil's Play taking out my my wee criminal. I was hoping to commit a crime. Aw, darn it. I'll play Sorin. Use Sorin to put out a big ol' nasty boy. Vein Ripper. What's Vein Ripper? Awesome. Vein Ripper is Blood Artist's big sister. This dude, you want to lose one? No, you get to lose two. It's also a 6/5 flyer that has a ward cost of sacrifice a creature. So you gotta 2-for-1 it. You gotta. Unless you have something like a Sheoldred's Edict. Or the card that just destroys all flyers or a board wipe, but I don't think they'll have that here. Do I have a dinosaur vampire card in this deck? I do not know what card you're talking about, so probably not. You would try to pet her? I mean, look, she's a pretty kitty cat. She's got a giant chicken, too. I don't know, they bolted this in and they're thinking about something. They could Devil's Play Sorin to kill him, so I can't buff the Vein Ripper. Roxanne, please. Hello, your go. I don't know what you're working on over there, but... conceding. Yeah, turn 3. Vein Ripper. I get it. Atraxa, Praetor's Voice, the proliferating Atraxa. She's got Flying, Vigilance, Lifelink, Death Touch, and proliferates at end step. One of the things that's nastiest about her is how well she works with +1/+1 counters, Planeswalkers, and Poison. And we won't know what kind of deck this is until they start casting spells. But then, once those spells start landing, we will know what form of Atraxa this may be. All I have is removal here. And then I can cheat out a sweet, sweet vampire next turn. Grateful Apparition, that's just another proliferator. Okay, now I get my priority back. I will Bitter Triumph this. 80 Bitter Triumph. And now it's Sorin time. I've got some great choices here. I'm going to go for Haunt of Hightower. This is the least, I would say, protected of these three, but it grows. And it's going to grow and grow and grow and grow as they cast spells that end up in their graveyard. If you cast, just as an example, a spell to kill Sorin, if it goes to your graveyard, awesome, I get a counter on the Haunt. When it attacks in, it'll make them discard. And if I go to, like, kill their commander using my Bitter Triumph, that will also get me a little bit more +1/+1 on the Haunt. A cool card. Would never want to pay 6 mana for it. Thank you, Sorin, for making this cost 3 mana. It's Acklezotz at home. I wish Acklezotz could go in the deck. Okay, so Abrupt Decay. That's a card going to their graveyard, which means the Haunt of Hightower gets a +1/+1 counter. That's what I was countering on. I'll see myself out. Vampire, Haunt, swing in, they discard, and we hit them for 5 life gain. 5 life gain damage. Nice. This Sorin will be a little protected by the vampire token. I'm mostly just going to be using this for the plus at this point, though. Trying to get more bits. Oh, look at you. It's a 4-color deck for Atraxa. So these fetch lands also contributing to the haunt. Yeah, this was the buy a box promo, I think, for the set it was in. Aww. Now it's gone. You have haste, right? Yeah. I'll plus. Looking for land, finding land. And I probably want to go for card draw. This is card draw. This represents potential card draw. They do have 2 blue mana up, though. We're getting to the point where I can just cast things from my deck, so I'm going to try to land Sorin again. Sorin resolves. I'm going to minus the Sorin to put the Champion of Dusk. Yay. Drawing 2 cards. Oh, if they kill one of these in response, I actually only get 1. I love me some cards. Swing for 2. Could we have a Cavern of Souls for Planeswalkers? I wouldn't be surprised if we got one eventually. Oh, they're going to steal. One of the top 2 cards of my deck goes into exile. They can cast it or play it. But whatever it was is not something they wanted. I'm surprised they never went for Atraxa. We were holding removal for her, but like... she big. She Flying Vigilance, Death Touch, Lifelink. Never cast her. And I guess I'll never find out what type of deck. I'm guessing it's toxic because of this Blightwing Whelp they discarded. But I don't know for sure. GG Atraxa. Nadu, Winged Wisdom. This is nerfed Nadu, which is still a very good card. And unfortunately, it is bigger than most of the flyers in this deck until we pump them up, which we can do with our commander, and also some of them just do it for themselves. Nadu is limited to 2 activations a turn, or 2 triggers a turn. Still good. It's just no longer as able to go pseudo-infinite or actually infinite, because you can't just be like, oh, I got a land, which triggers a thing, which gets me another thing, which gets me a thing, which gets another land, which gets me a thing. You can't do that anymore. You can do some of it, just not as much of it. I will play this Vran. Good, now I have some bigger flyers. And because they are in both blue and green, they might just be able to, like, counter Sorin. I'm still going to try it this next turn. It's what I've got. Birds of Paradise. It would be sweet if they could, like, errata the actual Nadu to be more like this. Sorin got to resolve. And I'm going to try to put the Vein Ripper into play. It's a good little 6/5. And no attacks, please. That is a 3/4, and it would block my 2/2. Just change where the quotation marks are on the card. Yeah. Will you just get rid of, I think it's like the way they change it for this is it's just this ability only triggers, not the creature gets the ability. It's Nadu's ability. Oh, finale for 2. Yeah, it is still like an interesting deck. Something like Bristly Bill is great with it, since it does get you the potential trigger off a trigger. And they've gotten their counters. They've gotten their triggers. Oh my gosh, they had a way to kill my Vein Ripper. Nasty. Look at that, playing Pick Your Poison. I've seen Pick Your Poison played a lot in Commander, too. I would like to move you to the command zone, yes. And the Planeswalkers are very vulnerable here. looping in with Vran. I'm hoping that this is not like a +1/+1 kind of thing. Cool. Hit for 4 because of Bloodletter. And now I have 4 swamps, which is relevant for Cabal Stronghold. Cares about the number of specifically basic swamps. I actually thought this just counted swamps, not basic swamps, and I was very sad when Urborg didn't do the thing I was hoping it would. I will Thoughtseize! Show me what you got! Why didn't you play the Scoot Bug? You plan on just doubling up your counters from Bill? That doesn't feel like what you'd want to be doing here. We have to seize those thoughts, those illegal goods. So they're going for a big phase out. Getting lots of triggers here. From Nadu and Bill. And who's being phased out? The 3 on the... Okay. The 2 mana dorks and the Bill. What else are you gonna play? Okay, Allosaurus and Collective Resistance. I'll go for the Scoot Swarm. I think that's the hardest thing for me to deal with here. Play Sorin, who is without mirth. And I will minus.
Out of my way.
Yeah, out of my way!
I bring my own army.
If I hadn't seen the Scoot Swarm in their hand from the Nadu reveal, I think I probably would have just gone for Sorin, Haunt of Hightower, but... Nah. Bugs. Uh-oh. The Bristly Bill Battle! That is a targeting spell. It's also gonna kill my Bloodletter. They'll only lose 2 because the creature died on their turn. That's not Sorin, it's a Dracula. It can be both. It says both. They still have enough mana to double up from Bill. My good man, Bill. Or they could do some of this stuff. Playing creatures. They got enough for both. They could play Tamiyo. They could play Allosaurus Shepherd. And they could activate Bristly Bill. Because the Birds of Paradise, it's able to tap for mana. Make up your mind. What does Escalate? Escalate allows you to pay an additional cost for each additional time you want to get a choice from these cards. So for example, Collective Resistance, you pay 2 and you get to choose 1. Or you pay 3 and you get to choose 2. And scaling up from there. So I could sacrifice both my creatures here to save this Sorin. I don't think it's worth it. I'll let him die and pass back to you.
Darkness, I return.
Sorin into Haunt of Hightower. It is akin to Kicker. It's very similar to the more recent Spree, except with this you get 1 as part of the base cost. It's a little less expansive. You can't do the same ability more than once. It just lets you choose up to all 3 modes by paying more and more. They've gotten their Nadu triggers. They've gotten some Bill stuff going on. At least my life total is high because they've been attacking Planeswalkers. But yikes, Nadu is so big. I've got to sink into stupor too, so that I can just like throw something back into my hand. I don't have enough mana to give this death touch here. Honestly, I feel like I would just attack face and activate Bill twice. Well, actually, would that not be lethal? I guess you gotta defend yourself. Oh, sure, I'll block with the vampire token. It makes you lose 2 life. Are the spoilers for Aether Drift out? Just some. Yeah, Vran only triggers once per turn. But still cool enough that I want to put it into vampire type decks. Well, gifted Aetherborn. I could activate you twice. You attack in, become a 5/5. They can target, they can sink. I'll go to combat and I will swing on in. Discarding Allosaurus Shepherd, I imagine. You can still blink Nadu. There are ways to go like pseudo infinite with this Nadu using things like Displacer Kitten. Still activating the Knight. Oh, yes, sinking. Maybe the Haunt. None of them? That works. I'm doing what I can. Listen, you already have so much damage on the board. Actually, I wonder if they will have lethal in the air next turn. I think they will. Making that indestructible. Yeah, this deck is in a strange place where Monoblack Vampires is fine, but it matches into things that are so, like, incredibly powerful. I'm not even gonna bother with this. That it makes it into an awful tricky situation. Now, you could build the deck without Vampire Typal in mind. You could build just around the high-cost, generically good vampires, and the rest is mono-black control. But that's not what this deck is. Like, you can just put in your Bloodthirsty Conquerors and the combos with it. But I like vampires, so my deck's vampires. All right, Nadu. You didn't need to cast that. You know, you can just attack in and click on Bristly Bill. Okay, wait, let me double check. I'm pretty sure they just had lethal. Okay, so let's see. That's 20. Yeah.
I'd love to hear stories from you. Violence.
They wanted to flip Tim Tam. You know, tamiyo was actually like a lot of damage. You just missed out on that. Kabuki-1, thank you for the sub. Oh, okay. Trying to assemble bird lethal. They would have been very, very close to bird lethal. Did they even? They might have actually had like 2 activations too. What was it they'd be scared of? I have no idea. You want to hear my best bet? They don't know either. Yeah, go get him, Vran. Yeah, them having to sacrifice of my Vein Ripper at the start, that was unexpected and very sad. Oh well, too late, too bad. They missed out the lethal last turn. I'm not going to give them another opportunity because they seem like the kind of person that's not going to kill me even if they have the chance. Goodbye, Nadu. Sorin against himself. Sorin of House Markov deals damage based on life gain after he's flipped over. He can also make food and steal things, but for the most part, he's used for his -1 ability. But in order to get to that -1, you need to gain 3 or more life before the end of your combat, which is really easy to do. Like, it's really easy. Black-white life gain, it's good. Now I have to decide here if I want to just bop this Guide of Souls or save the cut down for Sorin. Guide of Souls is so scary. I'm just taking it out. I'm taking nothing. It's gone. None of that. Not dealing with it. Vladimir. We got a swamp. We got a plains. We got a dead Vladimir. I could bring out Sorin to bring out something that costs less than him, and I actually do think that's the right thing to do here. So that is what I'm going to do. Sorin into Zealot. This gets me a card drawn and gives me a little bit of board presence as well as just splitting myself between types. I've got both a planeswalker and a creature, and apparently the Sorin can't handle that. Heliod, Sun Crowned, an indestructible god that puts counters on things as you gain life. It also can give things lifelink. They'll be playing a lot of early spells, things that are gaining them life when creatures enter, things that get counters when they gain life. They're Pride Mates and Soul Sisters. And I will be not having anything really exciting in my hand, but I still think this was a good hand to keep because it lets me take out the creatures that are growing. And sure, Sorin doesn't have a big scary vampire to cheat into play, but who needs them? I mean, I'd like them, but who needs them? Oh, it's actual factual a Johnny's Pride Mate. I'm going to bop it with this Bloodchief's Thirst. And I could play Sorin, or I could use a Spy Master's Vault. Let's use the Sorin. I don't have a vampire in hand, so I'll just put a counter onto the Vampire of the Dire Moon. Boop. Swinging. Nice. Oh, and is it peepin' time? Chat, can I get some peeps? Peeps from my peeps? Thank you. The real peeps are peeping. I've got exiling removal in case Heliod becomes animated. I've got this infernal grasp to try to firmly grasp things. And then again, Spy Master's Vault. That all you're playing? Okay. I'll still do it. Or try to. Okay, Spy Master's Vault. I'll connive once. Nykthos versus Takenuma. I'd rather have Takenuma here. I don't exactly have much devotion. Vampire of the Dire Moon. Up and at him. Getting real tempted to use this Takenuma. I'll play the Cabal Stronghold. It's not accelerating my mana right now, but eventually it might, making it so all of my basic swamps can add towards this ability. Okay, Elspeth Conquers Death. You can hit the Sorin, who is chilling at 7 loyalty. I'm going to channel Takenuma. Hey, look at that! I found a guy. Sorin. Putting the Henrika into play. Drawing a card, losing a life. Swinging in for 4. And my instant sorceries, planeswalkers, and everything else that's not a creature are now taxed by 2. Now for a life gain deck, they sure aren't gaining enough life. Ideally, they would have had like Soul Warden on 1, a Johnny's Pride Mate on 2, and then Heliod on 3 for the big growth. But things didn't quite come out in order. They probably just had a kind of iffy hand with some good cards like Adeline that they have to wait to get out. I will block this 1/1. They can give it lifelink. They didn't give it lifelink. I wonder if it's because they want to make sure they have Mutavault as a blocker. Sorin's dead, but Sorin has kind of done his job already. Hello, Gary. Hmm. Yep. Grey Merchant of Asphodel. If it gets reprieved, it doesn't happen. But otherwise, totally does. Nope, they're getting rid of some of my devotion. That's smart. I'll swing in with the vampire. Everdire. And they do have things that they can reanimate off the third trigger of Elspeth Conquers Death, getting themselves Soul Warden. 1 is not 0, and with a life gain deck, yeah, that's extremely true. That's so true. Exemplar of Light. Them gaining life will put counters on creatures, and as they get counters on creature, they get to draw a card once a turn. It's really nice. It's like a big flying Pridemate that draws you cards. I love this as a new card for decks like Heliod's. It's a little expensive for some of the, like, Amalia or similar decks, but I think it's still pretty good. They're up to 10 life? Thanks, I hate it. I'll play the Jet Medallion. Oh, I wanted to manually tap. That's fine, I'll do it like this. Getting rid of Heliod. They get to draw a card. Oh, yeah, because I didn't manually tap there. I missed out on the, on being able to play the Blood Witch. Dang, that's a bummer. Always blame tapping. Never blame yourself. Nice. So this is not a vampire, so I can very freely let it block, so the Cordial Vampire and his friends will grow. Yeah, I wanted this in play. But the Stronghold wasn't generating extra mana for me because I only have 3 swamps. You need to have 5 or more basic swamps to start getting extra out of it. It's an unusual card. I'm actually kind of iffy on it in this deck. Life is gained. Angel is grow. Counter is placed. Life is linked. Have to exile on the vampire. No, now I don't get to grow my vampires. Aw. Well, our life totals are swinging around freely and aggressively. Oh, look, I got to 5 of them. You're gonna find me something good, right, Clue? That's pretty good. Onto Hightower. Yeah. Gain your life, draw your cards. And pass the turn. I can't attack in since Heliod's indestructible, among other things. I feel like they might give the Exemplar lifelink here. Oh, Book of Exalted Deeds. They do have a Mutavault, but they do not have 3 more white mana, I don't think. So I don't think they can do the Platinum Angel that's also a land. But they will get Angels, just because they'll have gained 3 or more life in a turn. I'll block here. And here. No white Ganjos. Oh, Sajiri's Shelter. The Haunt grows, but the Adeline survives. A little surprised I didn't give the Exemplar the life gain. Wonder if they have something else they want to cast here. Witch Enchanter? Disenchanter. Taking out my Jet Medallion so my spells cost more. They're going to get themselves a wee 3/3, but they can put a counter onto it because Soul Warden does Soul Warden things. Oh, do they not? Did they not gain 3 or more life? That's wild. What do we have? Embarrassingly few cards. Ooh, please kill my Gary. For no particular reason. Trying to bolt the Warden. I want them to kill the Grey Merchant. Could kill and reanimate Witch Enchanter? Yeah, but I don't think that does that much for me. See what they discarded. Arcane Signet. This or another. Back to 1. And unfortunately, that's as far as I can get, isn't it? I guess I'll use the vault. If I had done it pre-combat, I guess there was the chance of getting the Spy Masters lethal. But once the creature re-enters, they gain a bunch of life. Yeah, I'm trying to think. If I had done this first, flipped it over, I would have had enough mana to activate it once? Twice. Which would have given 2 additional damage in the air. But then they wouldn't have let that Gary Merchant go through. That's alright. That's a fine game. I guess they're not at lethal right now. Kind of depends on how they swing. But they're gonna gain so much life this turn. I'll be quite honest. It doesn't matter. GG, Heliod. Narset, Transcendent. Also, the sun is shining directly on me. I'm gonna have to close that up. I've got a little guy. I got Shuldred. I've got a way to kill Narset. Okay, I'll keep this. This Narset is typically just hard Azorius control. And it's really annoying to deal with because she just sits there with a super high loyalty, putting more and more counterspells and board wipes into hand. While I sit here and I say, please stop. Please stop. Please. Please stop. I'd love to be able to save that to reanimate things later, but for now, I just know I'm going to want my lands to do land things. Nice. They got themselves a fancy command tower. Neato. I'll play the swamp. Go for Sorin. See if it resolves. It goes back into my hand. And I'll attack for 1. And while my opponent is taking their turn, I'm gonna make it so the sun is doing less of this. Is it doing less of this now? Good, it is. Orem's Chant. Did they kick it? No. Okay. So here's the good news. I can still do stuff despite their Orem's chant. So I will swing in for 4, and I'll get a +1/+1 counter onto the Knight of Ebon Legion. Not the worst. Sorin is Brawl legal? Yes? So is other Sorin. There's also a black-white Sorin and another black-white Sorin, and they're all playable in Brawl. There's also another Sorin, like a big mono black one, and then another one. And there's a lot of Sorin cards, okay? Does that help? There's a lot of Sorins. All right, so Narsic comes down. She's at 7 loyalty, which is, again, I think absurd. I have no idea why she has such a stupid high loyalty. And I'm trying to decide here if I want to fell that fella. Naming vampire. I could also just, like, go for some tough and buffins. Nah. She gets to live a turn. She will die another day. And by another day, I mean next turn. A lot of Sorins, but even more Chandras. For real. Are there more Chandras than Jaces? I believe so. I believe Chandra has the most Planeswalker cards. Ooh, a Teferi. How terrible. We're waiting right now to see what they do, see what they unleash. I'm actually gonna do something that I love doing here. We're gonna ask them about their thoughts. There's a reason I run it in this deck and many other mono black decks. Because of players like that. GG. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Brawl Stars. As expected, Sorin did Sorin things, and on the games where he did the Sorin things, our opponents conceded usually pretty early. This deck doesn't have a ton of resilience to it. It's a cheap creature deck, it's running a lot of typo things, and yes, you can cheat out some amazingly powerful cards. But sometimes your opponent will just remove them, and then you're a little bit left behind. The deck is not terrible. It just gets pitted against a lot of decks that are much stronger than Sorin and the mono black vampires. But if you're interested in other vampire type decks, to celebrate Innistrad Remastered's release, I will be playing another vampire deck very soon, showing off what you can do with the various bloodsuckers in Arena. If you're looking for the deck list, it's in the description below. And I am very sorry to say I did not manage to pull off the combo of the Bloodthirsty Conqueror with Veto at all during this video. It would have been cool, but it never happened. It's in the deck though, so if you're looking to try out some combo with this, that's what you're looking for. You can always add more tutors, take out removal, and if you want to really change around how this deck works, remove a lot of the 1, 2, and 3 drop vampires and add a lot more 5 drop vampires. There's a lot of great ones out there, and you can use Sorin to cheat them into play. That's kind of the bit of the deck is, yeah, you want to play big vampires? Awesome. Sorin helps you do that. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a brawlful day.